What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of Contemplations with Austin. We back. Doing this thing, pulling up the contemplation. I posted this on my threads. via V. Is that a saying? I don't know if that's a saying. And then I reposted. That's what I meant anyway. Where did via V come from? I meant repost to my Instagram story. And what the... I'm going to start posting daily contemplations for everybody else to join in on this with me. What the contemplation is where are you denying? Nope, that's not it. Man. It's the one I wrote. It's going to be tomorrow's contemplation, but I'm going to speak this out ahead of time. Bear with me, folks. This episode is brought to you by Entheos Holistics. For those of you interested in teachings that will influence your life, esoteric, getting in the rabbit hole, I'm teaching a 7-week course on Hermeticism in the Inner Sanctuary. That is our premium offering inside of the Entheos Collective, a free community. Microdosing, here to change your life. Anyway. Where are you ready? Here's today's contemplation. And then I'm just going to riff. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today, but this feels good. Where are you spending money on yourself to uphold false identities versus spending money on yourself to break through false identities? That one's deep if you let it be. I was having this conversation with somebody. This is, I don't know, months and months ago. And just in the nature of conversation, she was asking me about it's hard for me to invest in a coach or programs or this, but I really want to work on myself, blah, 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 blah. And this stuck with me, and it came back recently because yesterday we gave a special offering for the Inner Sanctuary of $77 a month, which is insane for the value. Now it's $99. We're going to keep increasing it to really meet the value, but we'd love to build a great foundation of the community. And so inviting you in, right now it's $99 a month. You get 16 live calls, mini cohorts, teachings, access to all recordings, access to all future recordings. You get discounts and perks and giveaways on microdoses, on apparel, on retreats. It's community chat, direct access to me and the team. On and on and on. We are not lacking value in this life. Anyway, I was prompted this memory today. And we were talking, she was like, I just can't find the resources to spend on it. And I noticed that she had these really fancy nails done. And so I just asked a question. I said, how much do you spend a month on your nails? She's like, well, I'll get them, done twice a month. I'm like, that's not what the question was. How much do you spend on your nails? She goes, well, I get a pedicure and then I get them done. So depending on how and where I go, it could be anywhere from $30 to $75 every time. It's like, okay. And that was just one example. I don't know if that's true. You ladies tell me. Is that cheap or expensive? I remember I got a pedicure once with Jillian, and it was like $120 for both of us. I'm like, what the fuck did we just pay for? That was not that was not a $60 whatever what just happened. So let's call it $100 to $120, $150 a month on nails. There's no right or wrong in this. And are you buying something to uphold some requirement you have, thinking that that thing is what makes you pretty or valuable or wanted or worthy, etc., versus pouring that money into you? It's like so often we spend money to uphold an external identity that we hope people see in us instead of spending money on what's going to bring us inside. And instead of spending the money that is the internal landscape. We can so comfortably spend $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in a car. When we go to the car, we don't worry when it's, we'll get you this fancy thing. We include all the oil change. Only $80 more a month. Only $80 a month. Yeah. Hey, come join this community with 100 other people where you're going to feel seen and safe to express and grow and create art and be in the world and become more abundant and free of everything that doesn't serve you in this life. It's $77. I don't know if I can afford that. It's like we've been so programmed to spend money on upholding the identity that we believe other people want to see in us that makes us valuable to everything outside of ourselves. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. And so really analyzing, I didn't think this was just going to be about money, but here we go. And it's not just about money. But that was just one thing. I can't get that memory out of my head. That one conversation with her, I'm like, do you eat out? She's like, I eat out more often than I cook at home. I'm like, okay, you're probably spending 3 times as much on food. Like, there's all these little things. I can look at anybody's life, including my own. I'm not escaping this either. As I always say, everything on this podcast is a belief system. I don't claim to know that I am right in any of it. I am here to explore these ideas out loud. Through the exploration, I often change my mind. A lot of this is a conversation with myself. This is also an exploration for me. We're all exploring. It's a curiosity for me too, because I know I spend money on external shit, and that's fine. It is the conscious approach to doing it. So if we claim that we don't have money to spend on ourselves, but you haven't taken the hardest look in the world at your life to see where are you spending money to create false identities and comfort that are actually keeping you in the very place that you say you want to become free of. Let me give an example. Up until like 6 months ago, I had Amazon Prime or Prime Video, HBO, Paramount, Netflix, Apple TV. I had like 9 TV subscriptions. Is having all of those and living this hyper-distracted life, spending hours and hours and hours a week, going to lead me to feeling more sovereign and free within myself? No. And so when I went through and canceled all those, I ended up getting 3 of them for free because like my AT&T, I get this for free, and because of that, I get Apple for free. And I'm like, oh, now I save a couple $100 a month, and I still get access to a few if I want to watch a show now and then. But I had to have the honest conversation. This is part of the 40-day devotional I'm in. Am I taking a hard and honest look at every single aspect of my life and comparing that against the version of myself and the life I desire to live? Am I having the honest conversation and comparing those 2 actions, behaviors, patterns, thoughts, abuses, whatever it is within myself? Is this behavior that I'm engaging in, the way I'm spending my time, is that actually in alignment to my highest and best? Is the money I'm spending every month on myself, on these coffees? If I make coffee at home, I'm going to cut my Starbucks bill by, I'll spend 10% of what I do, coffee outside. Get a French press. Are you pouring love into your food, or are you buying fast food and shit outside where somebody that's cooking it hates their life and they're putting that energy into it, where they're not loving on that food before you eat it? They're not pouring prayer into that food. Or are you spending money and time to pray into your food, to be present, to be appreciative, and then taking the energy? Listen to the Frequency podcast. Everything is frequency, y'all. What is the frequency of the people cooking your food when you're eating out? Probably not high if they're at a shit restaurant and making minimum wage. It's like really paying such intention and attention, paying such attention into the intention in which we do everything in our lives. So take a look at that. I am right now. As I come out of this value wound I was in, where I didn't value myself, and feeling the support of the community, and now we have 50-something paid members in the community, and that creates amazing foundation of stability for me. So thank you. And now I'm more excited to teach because I have that foundation of stability, and I still do my one-on-one clients that are coming in. I have the Mensa, like there's all these different avenues, and it's incredible. And sitting inside of that, I can already feel the weight fall off with that stability that allows me to step in and be excited about teaching, to create more teachings, to show up in a more energized and efficient way. And so I'm looking at all the areas of my life like, wow, I've been living in this beautiful place of trust. Like, I know money's going to show up. I'll be taken care of. Yes, and where am I not being logical about this? At the end of the day, I'm still living in 3D reality. Where am I not being logical about where I spend my money? Where am I not being intentional about where I spend my money? To pour into myself, where am I upholding identities? Where am I still buying name brand, fancy designer stuff because I think somebody thinks I'm going to be cool because I have a Louis Vuitton wallet or handbag? These are hard things to look at, y'all. We've been so programmed into believing that that's where our value is. I would much rather have a handmade bag from somebody in the jungles of Costa Rica or Peru than I would ever care about having any name brand label on anything, ever. This is my favorite shirt. Love people. Shout out to that brand. A homie Drew. Actually, I've met him once, but I consider him a friend. It's weird. Shout out Drew. One of these days, I feel like we're going to weave. I'd rather wear clothes that friends make and support their things. I don't give it. The bigger the name brand, the less I want to be associated with it. What is the frequency? Greed. Extraction, slave labor, low quality materials. Man, mass programming, mass psychosis. So going back to this nails thing. I'm fired up lately, y'all. I'm coming back into myself. I feel clear. I want to help people awaken. This is my life's purpose. It's on my gene keys. I have the gate of shock. My siddhi of my life's purpose is awakening. And so the more I speak my truth and be resonant in that frequency, the more I'm starting to realize I'm getting messages like, wow, your podcast has had me look at this and confronting this. Good, I hope so. I hope we can start waking up and coming home to ourselves. You need nothing outside of you to be valuable. You need nothing outside of you to prove your worth. You need nothing outside of you to tell you who you are. Beyond all of the identities and the programs and the ways that we think we need value, when we put all of that down, who are you to yourself at the end of the day? Find the places that you think you need to show up for somebody else to be valuable, and that is the pathway to freedom. And money is such a big topic in this culture. I think it's the way that the banking cartel and the systems have been set up, what they do, the taxation system, all of it, the extractive way that money and finance has been built is to keep us in the state of fear by keeping us in the frequency of scarcity and the assumption that there's never enough to go around, because that fear frequency creates that loop that we're in. And so look at your life. Every single one of us, there's not a person listening to this that doesn't have money being poured into something that's not in alignment to the values they choose or decide, not in the values they desire to have and walk in this life. I said this on the cohort call at the end. Currency is a current you see. Money is just an energy. And every time you give money to something, you're telling God, I want to put my life force energy into seeing more of this in the world. Feel into that for a second. Every single thing that you spend money on, you're telling God, this is the thing that I'm putting my literal actual life force, my existence, my life force. I'm choosing that this is the thing I'm putting my life force into, and I want to see that grow in the world. Is it unorganic food? Perpetuating the systems that are destroying the soil and killing the bees? If it is, it's okay. Just do that. Make that choice consciously. Accept everything that comes with it. Is it into things that you wear or do to yourself or put on that lead to these false identities that you believe you need to be something for someone else? If that is where you choose to do it, just please do it consciously. Y'all know that's my fundamental care in all of it. If we're making all of these choices consciously, I don't care what you do. If you numb, if you smoke too much weed, you do drugs, you drink, do all of that consciously, and I'm with you. If you think drinking is the thing that you need to go to bed and to reduce stress, then accept that it's also a poison. It's a toxin. It's one of the worst things you can do from your body. 140 substances tested. David Nutt, a study he did in 2018, sets to like 100 and something substances that we put in our body. Alcohol is by far the worst thing that we can put into our bodies for our health. Mushrooms, the safest thing of everything. Coincidence. One's banned, one's propped up. That's strange, huh? Oh, that's not an accident. But if you choose that, don't run from it. Don't say, I'm just doing this because it makes me calm. No, it's a numbing mechanism, and that's okay if you choose to be in that truth with yourself. I'm choosing to numb with a substance I know is damaging my body in every way. It's putting me in a negative, depressing state of being. And I choose that for myself. Amazing. I still have drinks every now and then. I mean, now it's like one. When I did that Tulum trip, I was there for 10 days. I think I had 2 margaritas the whole time, even on vacation. It's rare. This year, we're in July. I think I've probably had 7 drinks the whole year. And when I have them, it's great. I love it. It's with friends. It's in celebration. I'm making that choice consciously. Drinking sake with Chris, my last day in Costa Rica in February. I have moments. All I'm saying is, again, I think I said this quote on one of my, I don't know, I had a flashback. I was like, did I say this on a walk with Cosmo or did I say this in a podcast? Like, so strange. 2 completely opposite places. But Carl Jung had this famous quote, until we make the unconscious conscious, it'll rule your life and call it fate. I disagree, Carl. Love your work, bro. One of the greatest psychotherapists, psychologists of all time. GOAT, in my opinion. And that's a step too far. Until we tell ourselves the truth about what's already conscious, we can't even get to the unconscious material. That's where I think we are. How conscious of you, how conscious are you of the life that you're already living? Let's pull all this shit out, y'all. Because the parts of us we deny, we can call that the shadow. Anything that we deny and we shove into the shadows will manifest as a shadowy way. So let me use the nail example. And I don't mean to pick on this. And I think it's beautiful when y'all get your nails done. This is just, it's the example that's alive. If you get your nails done, knowing that that money isn't being spent in the highest and best, are you doing it truly for you and acknowledging that you know the money's not the highest best? Or are you doing it because you're hoping that it makes you look prettier because there's a part of you that doesn't feel worthy? Admit that part. Look yourself, like, this is one of the most powerful things. The first time I admitted there was a part of myself I hated, I wept. Because I felt the literal hatred I had for myself in that moment. It was 3 days before my last relationship ended. Because of some things that were transpiring in the last couple weeks of the relationship, I was moving through a big process and realizing that the part of me that was creating the disruptions was the part of me that I hated. Because I hated that part, I put it in the shadow because I didn't want to look at it. And one of the most powerful things that I did for myself was look myself in the mirror and admitted to myself, I fucking hated this part of myself. And then I had to describe, while looking myself in the eyes, why I hated it, how I hated it, what it felt like, why I didn't like him. I had to be so admitting to that self to get to the part where I could actually love that part of myself because I was willing to look at it. I blacked out. We're 18 minutes in. What just happened? I don't even really know what the topic of this one is. But it felt alive and felt true because I'm getting a lot of people that are wanting to join and talking to me about their money stories. It's like, okay, let's dive in. I got them too, y'all. I've been very open about that. But let's dive in. Currency, our money, is a current you see. What we pour our money into, we're telling God, I want to see more of that in this life. What are you pouring your money into? What false identities are you holding up? What systems are you perpetuating? And is everything in alignment to how you truly want the world to be? How you see what the world you want for your kids' kids'? This is the level of intention I desire to walk with, which is why I have these conversations, because in this, I get to call myself forward. Now this is going to be alive in my field for the next week. Like, wow, where is my current going? What am I propagating? What systems am I still lifting up that I do not agree with? I talked about this a couple episodes ago. It's really, really difficult for me to shop on Amazon now. They're destroying a fuck ton of shit, man. I hate department stores. I hate them all. I dislike even going to Whole Foods now. And it's not to say it's all bad, but if I have the opportunity and choice to go shop with a small farmer at one of these local shops, that feels like the thing I want to prop up. I hope this landed and made sense in the way that it's intended. I'm not picking on anyone. There is no right or wrong in any of this. But we're going through a mass awakening. We're going through an awakening of the collective consciousness. And part of this awakening is no longer turning a blind eye to how we live our lives. In every way. In the way you talk to yourself. Can you admit that? Get a journal. Start writing today. I got a 4 journals practice. Awareness, self-judgment, self-talk, and synchronicities. Start paying attention to your thoughts. How do you talk to yourself? How do you see the world? What are you judging on other people? That is really just a reflection of you. Let's get so aware of our lives, live life so consciously that nothing has power over me. That's what conscious living is. It's doing things with such a level of integrity and self-honesty and truth that we are confronted with all of the ways that I'm giving my power away to someone or something outside of myself. And my ultimate dream in this life is to lead people back to the self, because that is where freedom and sovereignty is found. And when we find freedom and sovereignty through the self, guess what happens? We find God. God is found by going within. And so the deeper that you get to know yourself, shout out Socrates 2,500 years ago, the life path is about knowing thyself. Know thyself, the center, fundamental message of the oracle in the matrix. The journey is to know thyself, because when you start to touch what it is to know thyself, you know God. It feels complete. I love you all. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to listen and being here. And as always, be blessed.